Moving on to issue 2, phony money paying for real money. The price of Bitcoin rose to another all-time high at a record of $64,000 a coin on Wednesday. However, for some people, this good news just wasn't good enough, and it was time to sell. Jim Cramer of the famous TV show Mad Money bragged about buying Bitcoin around 12,000, selling it at 64,000, when yesterday he was saying, "No one's selling, no one's selling. Why is no one selling?" Kramer stepped forward, and according to a Twitter message he sent, he sold 50% of his Bitcoin and purchased a house. Josh Shigala, is this a good idea? Has Kramer led the way for the rest of us?
Yeah, if you want to buy a house, go and buy a house. What? Yeah, I mean, some people, if this is the top, some people, it depends where your moon is. Everyone's moon's in a different trajectory. Some people, this is the moon, and some people, they're just getting off the ground. So it depends. I think.
Wait. Is Kramer just getting off the ground? Kramer is a decamillionaire, and he gets out of a loan at 3.5%, right? A tax-deductible loan at 3.5% to move his money away from crypto into what? Paying off a house that he's probably got 10 houses? It's a terrible move, Mike.
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean,
doing the thing he tells us not to do, where you sell your losers and you keep your winners. Bitcoin has just won really big for him, and his reward is cutting off his victories by 50%. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't buy much that the mainstream media say, so it's just sort of a talking point. But unless maybe he borrowed against his crypto holdings on a smart contract and got some DAI, sold it for. You never know.
Well, I think this is an important issue because he didn't just sell like into cash to buy Bitcoin back when it went down, as we saw it went down. According to his statement, he sold to buy a house. So his money is off the market, cannot be reinvested. And it's hilarious because I've made the same exact mistake, probably at a smaller level than Mr. Kramer, of course. But I've made the same mistake, buying a house over holding Bitcoin forever. And it's just funny to see a possible mainstream, big time example of making this mistake. Let's go to Adam McBride. Your thoughts on Kramer's interest?
Yeah, I mean, there's a big difference, right? If it's me and I don't even own my house, right? This is my principal investment. This is the largest investment in my life. There's a difference between that, taking risk off the table, and paying off my house. Like, I get that. But this is a different situation. This is Jim Cramer, right? This is a decamillionaire who's just made a trade where he's traded money at 3.5% which is tax deductible. So, I mean, what did he make on that deal?
It's not tax deductible anymore. Unfortunately, Trump removed the interest tax benefits for owning a home. But
really?
Still a very low interest loan. I would definitely agree with that.
Well, I didn't realize. I thought home loans were still, there were still tax advantages for home loan. All right.
It's a tragic crush of the whole house thing. And it just kind of happened, as well.
I mean, for me, hey, if you're going to move it and pay off a home, if it's not your principal residence, or if you're struggling, or if you're not struggling, I should say, seems like in this inflationary cycle, and it is inflating like crazy. He's taking money out and paying off a home in an inflationary cycle when he can borrow that money at 3.5%. What he should have been doing is refinancing his home and borrowing more money. That's what he should have been doing.
It is interesting to compare like a normal person with Kramer, as Adam was saying. Normal person, you have that one house, you're paying it off. That really secures your future. You lose your job or something, you could go a couple of months without paying the rent. It's amazing. But I agree with Adam that Kramer probably has many houses. It could have just been, he could have bought a silver Falcon, or a Fabergé egg, or a Tesla, or something, a really fancy thing that he doesn't.
Or Beeple NFT, man.
Yeah, I could have bought. Well, that's still investing. But the idea here is that Kramer is like somehow tired of investing. He's tired of making money. Dan Eve, will we be laughing at Kramer like we laugh at the bear whale?
Inevitably at some point, it's just when on the timeline you decide to laugh at him, because Bitcoin is gonna hit 250, and then it's gonna go to crazy money that we never thought. Like when it was like $1,000, and we were like, huh, it will never reach 3,000. It will never reach 10,000. It will never reach 50,000. It just keeps on going. Number keeps going up. What's interesting is that he's someone that's made a lot of money and believes in Bitcoin. I say believe in understands it, because it's not about belief. It's about understanding the reasons why, not believing in it just because it's a fairy tale that will come true, because it just craps on the current existing system that we have. But he still calls it phony money, which I like. It's like, oh, it's still monopoly money. I paid off my house. Well, forget that. Like, Dogecoin's up like 5,000%. So I think that's going to be a cool thing. We'll see probably some people taking profits there, buying themselves some lovely assets, maybe a few Doges. They'll buy themselves some Doges. But what's interesting is you've said, while some people are scrambling to sell their illiquid property or at least release some cash from it, he's quite happy to sell, and which is quite odd, because usually it's based on you've got the flip side of the risk reward ratio, and people are seeing who have Bitcoin now are probably thinking, well, if I sell and there's a bear market, then I don't have a mortgage to pay, and I've got an easy ride until the next bull run. Other people are thinking, and I imagine in his position, as you mentioned, you're already a millionaire. Why not just ride it? The interest rate's so low. Why not just ride it out and just be like, completely I'm going to say it, but balls deep, if that's the word, as it were. So I don't know. I think at the end of the day, he gave it to a bank by paying his mortgage off, and that bank is probably going to secretly buy Bitcoin, whilst also releasing an article going, "Oh, Bitcoin's absolutely awful." So I don't know. The main thing is that I think that the thing that attracted me to the article was that he's doing what he said he usually does. He's been known to say that investors haven't made money in a stock until they've actually sold a portion of it. So maybe he's just following his rule of take some profits and then ride the rest.
Exit question. Building on what Dan was saying, does Cramer's description of Bitcoin as phony money paying for real money expose that he doesn't really understand Bitcoin or crypto or the nature of the revolution that's about to happen, whether they like it or not? Josh Shigala.
Man, if he really said that, he's the dumbest cuck I've ever heard. Like, what a fool. What a fool. Bitcoin is now 12 or something, 13 years old. Like, what the hell, man? Are you really this? And if you're only a deca millionaire and you've got a show and can manipulate stocks like the hell you want for the last, 20 years, and you're only a deca millionaire, you don't know what you're talking about, fool.
Adam McBride, your thoughts on Cramer's description of Bitcoin as phony money?
Hey, all money's phony money. It's agreed upon reality. We're agreeing upon something as an account, and that's what it is. You can agree or not agree. It's all phony money. US dollars, phony money. Puka shells are phony money. It's all phony money. It's just what's agreed upon. And I think more and more people at this point in time are agreeing upon Bitcoin as the default currency for this globe. And that's just the way it's going, because the people see that it can't be manipulated. You can't make more. And that's a big deal. And that's where we're going. And that's why we're all here sitting talking about it, because this is a big deal.
Dan Eve, phony money. Did Cramer get a good deal? Traded something for nothing.
It's the only real money, and the equivalent. When you go to Disney World, they give you Disney dollars, and that's just as made up as the real dollar. Because it's not backed by anything. It's not backed by, I don't know, Pluto snacks.
Wait, it's backed by Walt Disney.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. It's backed by cartoons.
It's backed by fun, man.
I don't know, Pluto. But yeah, I don't know. I think that it's all phony money unless it's tangible, and tangible can mean electronically tangible via electrons dibble-dabbling with each other.
I think it's a great thing for Bitcoin. It gives us all another mark on the calendar where we can look back and be like, oh yes, I remember when Cramer sold 50% of his Bitcoin. And now we're just looking for him to say, I saved that other 50% and now it's worth more than all of my holdings. I don't know what to do. I keep taking profits. It keeps going up. I keep taking profits. It goes up. I can't lose money on this thing. So I don't know. He'll just have to try harder to lose money. I'm sure he'll find a way.